Hey guys, this is Anthony from Innovation and Tech Today. Here is my exclusive interview with Jesper Kyd, composer for such video game series as Borderlands and Assassin's Creed. Something that I really wanted to cover, especially just with this piece, is I think a lot of people don't really know, the general process for creating a new soundtrack. How do you usually approach when you're, you got a new game that you're making a new soundtrack for?
Yeah, I mean, I would have to say that each project is different, Sometimes the team knows a bit of what they want, Sometimes they don't know what they want. Sometimes they know a lot of what they want. So that's usually where it starts, You're looking for an orchestral score, an electronic score, what's the role of the music for this project. And after that's been, talked about, that's when I start doing more of a deep dive. And obviously the story of the game is very important to the music. The story dictates a lot of where the music goes. But also the atmosphere of the game is very important to me. I try to match my music perfectly with the atmosphere. And that goes beyond just what you see. It also goes into how does the game feel when you play it. When you actually playing the game, does it feel like a very, fast game, or everything is very intense, or does it lend itself more to exploration and these kinds of things? And I think that is a very important thing to try to capture with the music. And me as a gamer and as a part owner of a game company, I feel I have a really good understanding on how that comes across, and what is the coolest, best, most entertaining thing musically that I can communicate to the player. And since I'm a player myself, I think of it more like as a game player, what would I think would be really satisfying musically to happen right now?
Absolutely.
So that's always something I think about.
So, and you say you're a player too. What kind of games do you generally find yourself playing?
I love first-person shooters. I love PC games. I'm also a console player. I especially, enjoy games with a lot of exploration. That's, probably my favorite genre. When you give an open world to the gamer and you're like, here it is, now go explore, and you go find all these, quests and missions. And you can move the story along whenever you feel like it, but you can also go explore. And that's something that I think is evident in the games I've worked on, such as like Hitman and the Borderlands games and Assassin's Creed. And it's just something I'm attracted to. That whole open world thing is really interesting to me. Absolutely.
Now, where do you just find your inspiration kind of comes from when you're looking at that? Is it, I know you said kind of like artwork is a lot of it, or kind of atmosphere is a very large part of it. Do you have kind of one thing that usually, is your biggest inspiration, or the biggest thing you draw from?
Yeah, I mean, I would say I'm always looking for what people aren't necessarily talking about, or what's not evident in the game when you play it. If I can get under the surface and pull things out that you're not seeing, but that still adds to the story. For example, if there's a overarching storyline, a background story, if you will, you might not always be playing moments that has to do with the background story,
right.
Because you might be going somewhere else. You're going from this place to that place. But if I can keep reminding the game player about the background story, that's something I think makes it a deeper experience. And it also makes it more cinematic. It's a trick that's used a lot in film, where you have counterpoints, where you have music for a scene, and you absolutely should not be playing this music during this scene because it totally is not what's expected. But then you put it in there, and everybody is like, whoa, this just changed everything. Those are the moments that I'm always looking for. And I think as a gamer, it's very rewarding when you're playing a game and you're surprised with the music. Of course, there's all the music that needs to be there. That needs to be there, of course, to follow along with the story and stuff. But if we can surprise people and do something unexpected, I think that's always a big reward when you're sitting there playing.
Absolutely. Now, is there a kind of a particular theme or kind of piece of music that you've been the most proud of throughout your career?
That's a tough one because I love all. They're like all my babies, you know. I mean, it's like you spend so much time on a soundtrack, and you finally release it. You know, it's hard to say a specific track. I would say my current project is usually my favorite project. You know, I try to put everything into each project that I do that I've learned from past projects, and so every project I do, I feel it's an evolving thing from the previous project, and the previous project was an evolving thing from the previous project. So if I'm doing something right, my latest project is almost my favorite, you know. So that's how I feel.
Hey Alex, what do you think? Should people subscribe to Innovation in Tech Today?
No.
What was that again, Alex?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.